Hey guys, welcome to the Hollabbey Homestead.
Today I'm going to give you a quick greenhouse tour, garden tour, and plant tour in general. Dave is working on our chicken tractor, but that's going to be in another video, so you might see him in the background, but this video is all about gardening, so here we go. I've been lacking on giving garden updates, mainly because I've just kind of been in a rush to get everything in the ground, and it's been really hot, and it's hard to film yourself gardening because like nobody wants to like film yourself like bent over in the garden like sweating like crazy trying to plant stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna give you an update on the greenhouse, and then I'm gonna take you down to the garden and show you what I did there. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick walkthrough of what's going on in the greenhouse. Believe it or not, I've actually planted about 5 or 6 full trays of seedlings already in the garden. I know it probably doesn't look like much, but I still do have a lot of seedlings in here, which I will show you. They're still a little bit too small to go into the ground. Some of them haven't even like broken the surface yet. To be honest, like we were a bit late with planting this year, just because like the greenhouse just took a long time to build, and building materials are expensive, and well, you know, all this crap. Anyways, I'm going to show you up close the plants that I have in here. So this is a pretty healthy marigold, and that's due to be planted here in a couple of days. And here, basically this whole section is marigolds that I planted about a week ago. So you know, they're getting bigger. And then I have zinnias, not in this tray, but I think I have them in here. I'm terrible for labeling, so like what I'll do is I'll just like put the seed pack you know, tucked underneath the tray, but I know I can identify plants pretty well, so as soon as it comes up I know what it is, but I just kind of put these here to remind me what's there. But speaking of this, so these are cucumbers, and these are heirloom tomatoes. We got some purple cherry tomatoes, and these are rattlesnake beans. And when they're a little bit bigger, I'm going to put them on the trellis in the garden. And there's some more beans here. And then this here, I've never grown this before, but I always wanted this. This is purple basil. And it's supposed to be quite good for you and tastes a little bit different. And it also looks pretty cool, I think, anyways. It's already showing off the purple. Over here, this is Swiss chard happening here. And I also have some more marigolds over here. In this tray is all peppers, like bell peppers, but none of them have come up except for this teeny tiny little one here. Peppers take a long time to germinate, so I'm not too worried about that. They will appear on their own time. Over here, these are rattlesnake beans, but nothing has come up. I suspect, because I know this seed pack specifically is about 3 years old, so maybe the seeds were too old, but you know, in My style, I will leave it for another couple weeks to see if anything happens, and if nothing does, then I'll give up, but I'm not going to give up right away. Some more beans happening here. Again, I've got the same thing happening, which is older seeds, and I wanted to use them up, and so it's not a huge deal because I do have a lot of beans over down the row here, so it's not a big deal. There's some beans that are here that are popping up, and you know, sometimes with older seeds they're just like kind of delayed anyways, so like if they are gonna happen, give them a little extra time. And if they are gonna come up, they will come up. If not, then you know, your seeds are no good. So this is kind of the testing area. Over here, this is just actually an example of like all the stuff I've actually planted. So these are all used trays, and I just stack them up and I save them for next year to use for my seedlings. By the way, a big shout out and thank you to Mary Kay, aka the Wizard's Wife, for saving me some plastic pots of plants that she bought from the garden center. And because I just use any old small pot over and over again to start my seedlings and stuff, so that was very nice of her to save me some pots for now my giant greenhouse, which I've never had a greenhouse this big before, and I love it. Actually, since the last greenhouse update, so we've got this table in here which was left behind in the barn, and we brought it down here, and like, I love this thing. It's old. I don't know if you can see this, but it's got drawers. And, you know, the drawers are going to be pretty handy. I've got, like, my hanging baskets hung up here in the corner. Basically, I've got all my gardening stuff in here, which is super handy. I've never actually had a place where I've been able to actually fit all my gardening gear in one spot, and now I do, so I'm very happy. This is a small cold frame that I didn't end up using this year, but I might next year. And kind of the other like really exciting thing is that, I know it looks messy right now, but all my like rakes, shovels, tools are all in one area. I don't have to go walking around the yard looking for where they are or what I did with them, and so that is like really handy. Anyways, let's get to the garden and I'll show you what's going on in there. So, more good news, guys. The dragonflies have arrived early compared to last year, and they're dealing with the black flies, so they're definitely not as bad as what it was this time last year. The weather's actually been like a lot warmer than I'd say last year's weather was. And but I'm happy to be able to be outside without like being swarmed by like millions of black flies and having to wear netting and long sleeves. So it's actually kind of nice this year. Anyways, let's see what's going on in the garden. Well, I recognize that it doesn't look like much right now. And believe it or not, a lot has been done here. I find actually, maybe it's just an iPhone thing because I use my iPhone to film most of our videos. But the straw kind of, the color of it, it's hard to actually see like little plants. So I can see them, but I'm not sure if you guys can see them. And actually, depending on the lighting, sometimes I have to watch where I'm walking because it's quite easy to step on plants here. So in case you didn't know, we're using the straw for like a mulch weed barrier thing. And because you have to do such a thick base of straw, when you uncover the areas to plant the plants kind of look like little tiny sad little things that are barely going to make it. But I promise you, they are doing well. There are some plants that aren't doing well, but that's like to be expected. This is our second year in this garden, and it wasn't really gardened for a few years before that. So it's going to take a lot of years to develop the soil. And this fall, we're going to put the chickens in here. And probably next year we're going to have amazing soil, but this year it's not that great. But it's better than nothing. It's probably better than last year. So I'm going to give you a close-up of all the plants I have. Okay guys, so I'm over at the far side of the garden at the shady part. It's not shady all the time, it's just shady this time of day. And so I have cantaloupe here. My plan is that they're going to climb up this trellis, and that'll be a perfect place for them. And then along the trellis is all the cucumber plants. And so last year this is where the beans were, and I've switched sides because it's not good to plant the same thing in the same place all the time. And then over at the other side of the trellis here, my shadow's kind of ruining it for you, but that is a climbing tomato vine, and there's two there, and they will go up this trellis. And I got in this tomato cage, there's a tomato there. I got a tomato here. So I've just kind of spun around to the second row here. So there's two tomatoes here. And then starting, so this is the second row. So along here is lettuces. So like, there's like bok choy, Swiss chard, all the different types of greens that you can use in salads. And I put these over here because it's so shady. So I'm just filming the garden, and these two roll up. Did you have a good ride?
Yeah, she enjoys her daily ride. You can't not go for a daily ride. She gets upset if you don't let it take her.
So just to give you a reference point, there's the cucumbers here, and then all my greens in this row. It's hard to see the rows right now because the plants aren't that tall. So on the third row, right here, starting here, these are actually all the hot peppers. We're a big fan of hot peppers. So there's like Carolina Reaper, jalapenos, Scotch bonnets, like all those really mega hot peppers, all nicely in a row here. Oh, and there is a giant frog, but I can't see him on camera. Right there. There he is. Look at this guy. So moving on, the peppers come to an end here, and then I've got two here that I kind of ran out of space for. That is our chives. Chives come back every year, so we just kind of leave it there. And we found the chives on another part of the property, so we don't know how old they are. And you can tell how hot it's been because they've actually like gone to seed already. And but anyways, we keep the chives here, and they seem to be quite happy here. Let's see, I also have a couple of other peppers that are here. This is a tomato. This happened to me last year, and I don't know why this is happening. But I planted a tomato plant, and it was quite healthy. and it like literally disappeared out of that cage. So I don't know if something's coming in and grabbing it, but this happened last year. It only happened a couple of times, so I just kind of ignored it. But it seems like we have a mystery tomato plant thief again around here. But the other one beside it is perfectly fine. That's the Tiny Tim tomato variety. And over here we got a stevia plant. I've never grown stevia. If you don't know what stevia is, it's like a natural plant that you can get sugar from. And there's lavender, oregano, and then rosemary, and then we got the regular parsley, and then the curly parsley. And my rows are kind of not fully planted, so hopping on over to the previous row here is we got kale here, so there's 4 plants of kale, and then this is Brussels sprouts here. And then this bare spot is where I planted some carrots. They're going to be rainbow carrots. It's all different colors, long story short. And I'm just leaving that open until they start coming through the ground. And then I will fill it in with straw so that the weeds don't overtake them. And then this kind of ridge along here, that goes pretty much to the middle aisle. That's gonna be corn. I've already planted it. I'm just leaving it open and waiting for it to come up. But it's the gem corn, which is like all the kernels are all different colors. And I don't have much luck with corn, but and I don't have much luck with like fancy corn, so I don't know, we'll try it. See what happens. It'd be neat if it actually worked this year. And over here, I don't have anything planted except for there's a watermelon here in the corner that I'm hoping will go up the trellis. And there's nothing in the middle there. And then just today, these mounds are giant Atlantic pumpkins, the small little ornamental pumpkins, the swan gourds, the regular gourds, all in here. And I just put them there so that they're out of the way. And the rest of this space and some of the spaces over here that I haven't filled yet, hopefully the stuff in the greenhouse will fill that. And obviously I need to get some more tomatoes because of this mysterious tomato thief that's happening in the garden. Anyways, that's what I got so far. So that's what's going on in my garden. I also planted the raised beds by our back door, which I will show you how they look and what I put in there. So Dave's been working on the chicken tractor. That's a totally other video, but we're hoping to get the chicks in it very soon. Okay, so the raised beds by our back door, they don't look like much, but I'm going to show you what I planted in there and tell you what I planted in there. So the raised beds don't look that spectacular right now. The plants that are colorful in there, those are celosas. They're actually edible, and they're kind of my favorite, but they look kind of pathetic because there wasn't much to choose from at the garden center. I don't know if you guys have been to the garden center this year, but choices are kind of crappy and it's hard to find quality plants and they sell out so fast. So I I kind of got what I got, and that's what I got. I also have nasturtiums that I planted from seed in here. I only did this yesterday, so you can't see anything, so I'm hoping that the whole fronts of these boxes are actually going to be kind of like overflowing with nasturtiums, and nasturtiums are also edible. And then along the back, I've planted sunflowers, like the super tall ones that are gonna, like, you know, block off the whole porch probably, or probably not do anything at all. I don't have much luck with sunflowers, so it'll be amazing if it actually happens this year. But I just keep planting them every year, hoping that's gonna happen. And maybe this year will be it. It'd be kind of cool if they actually did make an appearance. I'm not even sure if these planter boxes are actually big enough or deep enough for sunflowers, but we will see. Okay guys, thanks for watching. The next video you'll probably see our chicken tractor and Dave working on that. So come back for that and we'll see you next time. Bye!
See ya!